Singh. Having said that, I think the Congress party has given a point-wise, what they felt was not befitting the former prime minister in terms of seating arrangements for his family, for the space that was required for the during the cremation, and that this was an insult not only to Dr. Manmohan Singh and his family and his legacy, but also to the Sikh community. If you could always find ways to do so in terms of how you want to go about the entire process, be it for various issues in terms of a memorial. And you could have found it, and they've been juxtaposing this with the late former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's thing, when it happened. So it's definitely an unfortunate turn of events, but the government has assured the Congress party that they will set up a memorial for Dr. Manmohan Singh, which is their departure in a way from what was the earlier position, that they won't allow any setting up of any memorial or any other thing. So it's definitely, there has been a to and fro, but definitely with the passing away of Dr. Manmohan Singh, the last thing that Dr. Manmohan Singh himself, the person that I knew, would have wanted to see this unnecessary controversy.
Shifting focus, IIT Guwahati has partnered with Assam government and in working a state-of-the-art virtual reality-enabled Metaverse platform for the first time in the country, taken virtual reality skill labs to even rural schools where the student will learn their lessons in their local languages in a Metaverse environment using virtual reality technology and gadgets. This platform allows students to engage directly with complex topics through virtual reality and promoting deeper learning, creativity, and it also aims at promoting curiosity and will be implemented in some schools in Assam by 2025 November. NDTV's Rathadeep spoke to Professor K.U. Surathia, the Associate Professor in the Department of Design at IIT Guwahati. Take a look.
At a time when there is so much of buzz about AI and VR and Metaverse, particularly among the Gen Zs, here at the IIT Guwahati's Design Department, something very interesting is being thought of and worked upon. A new platform of using VR and Metaverse environment for the students of schools where they can learn their lessons better by using VR, that also in their own local language is being thought about and worked upon in the form of a new project of the Design Department of IIT Guwahati. We are now joined by Professor K.U. Surathia. Professor, this is a project which IIT Guwahati is doing with the help of Assam government, and probably you're developing this project, a model of a VR-based skill lab that can move from your design department to even rural schools in Assam, help them in terms of their improving their pedagogy, improving their student learning. Tell us how this project is happening. This is one of the first time in the country that this is being tried out.
Sure. So let me tell you, yes, this is the first state government who is trying out virtual reality based skill labs to be put up in the rural schools of Assam. The project started with the first phase where we developed an educational metaverse called Aviation, which was developed for Guwahati Planetarium with the help of Science and Technology Ministry, and that is currently deployed with contents related to gravity, gravitational forces, friction, and many similar content which will help students as well as the visitors of Guwahati Planetarium. The second phase of the project, which is called Gyandhara, where we will be taking 20 chapters of 8 to 12 standard schools of Assam and converting them into a VR experience for better learnability and memorability of the content. And as part of that project, we will be conducting a pilot in the 56 Adarsh Vidyalayas in Assam. And the next phase of that project would be to deploy this VR skill lab across all the schools in Assam.
Shifting focus, Prayagraj prepares for Mahakumbh as CM Yogi Adityanath sends out invites to Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah as well as JP Nadda. Mock drill has been conducted as well to test the preparedness, vigilance and training to tackle the cases of emergency during Mahakumbh. This was held at the railway station by the NDRF. My colleague Himanshu brings us this report.
मैं इस वक्त प्रयागराज रेलवे स्टेशन पर हूं और मेरे पीछे एक मॉक ड्रिल चल रहा है डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट का। मैं अपने कैमरा सहयोगी को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि यहां थोड़ा करीब की तस्वीर दिखाएं। यहाँ एक व्यक्ति यहाँ पर घायल हुआ है, उसे तुरंत एम्बुलेंस बुलाकर यहाँ पर रखा गया है और ये एक मॉक ड्रिल है जो महाकुंभ के लिए किया जा रहा है और यहाँ पर एनडीआरएफ और जो ज़िला प्रशासन के अधिकारी हैं, डॉक्टर्स भी हैं, उनको यहाँ पर तैनात किया गया है और ये एक रिहर्सल चल रहा है डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्सरसाइज को लेकर और ये कवायद है कि जब यहाँ पर लाखों करोड़ों लोग यहाँ पर आएंगे तो किस तरह डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट की जो व्यवस्था है उसको पुख्ता यहाँ पर की जाएगी और यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिया जा रहा है। ये मॉक ड्रिल चल रहा है यहाँ पर।
जी मॉक ड्रिल चल रहा है सर। जी ये मॉक ड्रिल था।
क्या अभी रिहर्सल क्या किया?
सर ये हमारे डॉक्टर साहब हैं, हम लोग ने यहाँ रिहर्सल किया है कि आज स्टैम्पेड में 6-7 की संख्या में पैसेंजर्स जो थे वो दब गए भीड़ भाड़ के कारण, जिनको रेस्क्यू टीम के द्वारा क्विक रेस्क्यू करते हुए यहाँ लाया गया और एम्बुलेंस की सहायता से पहले यहाँ फर्स्ट एड दिया गया। फर्स्ट एड देने के बाद एम्बुलेंस की सहायता से उनको हम लोगों ने हॉस्पिटल में अप्रोच कर दिया। हॉस्पिटल में डॉक्टर वहाँ पहले से मूव कर चुके हैं जो उनका मेडिकेशन करेंगे।
तो ये पाइपलाइन बना दिया गया है?
जी बिल्कुल पाइपलाइन बनाया गया। एक्चुअली टोटल पाँच पेशेंट इंजर थे, जिसमें 2 सिंपल इंजरी थी और 3 जो है ग्रीवियस इंजरी थी। ग्रीवियस इंजरी में क्या था, वो तीनों जो है अनकॉन्शियस थे, तो हमने तुरंत उनको चेक किया। चेक करने के बाद हमें लगा कि हाँ वो स्टेबल है लेकिन अनकॉन्शियस है, इसलिए हमने तुरंत उनको अपने एम्बुलेंस से अपने नज़दीकी हॉस्पिटल भेज दिया। हमारा रेलवे हॉस्पिटल यहाँ पर है जो कि फुल्ली इक्विप्ड है ICU SDU से, जहाँ पे हमने आसानी से उनको पहुँचा दिया है, जिसमें 3 पेशेंट अनकॉन्शियस हैं और अभी वो उनकी नब्ज उनकी पल्स सब कुछ परफेक्ट काम कर रही है, इसलिए हमने टाइमली उनको पहुँचा के हमने 5 से 7 मिनट में स्टेशन से उनको हॉस्पिटल शिफ्ट कर दिया।
India's first vertical high railway bridge is all set to be open at Pamban. The 2-kilometer-long bridge was built at a cost of 530 crore rupees. It's built parallel to the 100-year-old British-built heritage Pamban Bridge and would restore rail connectivity to Rameshwaram Island from the mainland, giving a flip to modern railway traffic and environment development as well. This would mean a goodbye to the century-old heritage Pamban Bridge. Take a look at this report.
India's first vertical high railway bridge at Pamban, a 2-kilometer-long bridge over the sea that connects the Rameshwaram Island with the mainland. And this has come up very close to, in fact parallel to, the 110-year-old heritage Pamban Bridge that was built by the British. Because of heavy corrosion over the decades, this is not being used now, and this bridge now will connect Rameshwaram Island very soon. It's a 530 crore project that aims to pave way for modern high-volume rail traffic to commence on this stretch. In fact, this has also been designed for a 2-way railway line, although this is now left vacant. In future, if it's required, they'll be able to lay over another fresh line to make it a 2-way railway line. The traditional heritage Pamban Bridge used to open up like this to pave way for vessels or ships to pass through, but this one is another engineering marvel. It's called the vertical lift bridge, where the entire stretch of the girder will lift 17.5 meters high to pave way for ships or vessels to pass through. That's although new, it's yet another engineering marvel, a first of its kind for India, and it has been designed for 58 years with little maintenance, and if everything works well, this could also survive for another 100 years. Although the Commissioner for Railway Safety has cleared this project for movement of trains, he has also flagged a few issues. One, he says the corrosion issue has not been adequately addressed because this area is known for very severe form of corrosion, the second severe form in the whole world, they say. Secondly, in terms of the vertical girders design, he says it has not complied fully with the approved RDSO design. Railway authorities say all these concerns and defects he has flagged would be addressed and rectified before the stretch is opened for rail traffic. So yet another engineering marvel, parallel to the century-old heritage Pamban Bridge, all set to be inaugurated. If everything works well, this could be open for rail traffic in January 2025. On the Pamban Railway Bridge with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Jeju Air jetliner carrying 181 people crashes at an airport in South Korea, killing over 60. Heavy snowfall disrupts life in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. BRO works on making Srinagar airport operational. Politics over Dr. Singh's memorial site. Congress demands memorial at Rajghat. Centre assures separate space. Mahakumbh preparations underway in Prayagraj. CM Yogi Adityanath sends out invites.
"2024, the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir.
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new heights. NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
A very warm welcome to the first edition of the NDTV Emerging Business Conclave 2024.
एमएसएमई विभाग एक महत्वपूर्ण विभाग है.
We have to think about what is brand India. India will always stand for democracy. We will always be one of the largest investors in the world.
It is also very, very important that these.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the NDTV Auto Show. It's December and that means winter is here. The best time to explore the country. So we tied up with Volkswagen India to embark on a scenic journey through the breathtaking Western Ghats in premium, comfortable and spacious Volkswagen Tiguan. Join us as we indulge in delicious food, soak in stunning landscapes and dive into adventure on our way from Mumbai to the scenic hill station of Mahabaleshwar. Here is a special report by Tushardeep Singh.
Be it the Polo or the new age Tiguan, Volkswagen has always thrilled the Indian market with premium and performance-oriented cars. The German brand is very close to my heart and synonymous with safety. Not just me, I believe every Volkswagen owner in India will agree with this. I was recently a part of Volkswagen Experiences, an initiative that upholds the spirit of community-driven tours and adventure. The journey takes you through the majestic landscapes and helps explore rich cultural traditions. The convoy I was part of was headed from Mumbai to Mahabaleshwar through the scenic Western Ghats. I made wonderful memories, learned the science of strawberry cultivation, and explored the beautiful landscape of Mahabaleshwar in my Tiguan. Come, join me and be a part of this quest, and who knows, this can be your next weekend getaway as well. I find a deep connect with the city. Mumbai is fast, happening and chaotic. My Tiguan is a perfect tool for the organized chaos that is Maximum City. For this weekend, I've set out on a journey to find freedom out of my busy schedule, about which I'll tell you more on the way. I started early to not get stuck in the traffic. The Atal Setu has been a boon for us. Escaping the city was never this easy. The peace of mind that comes with owning a Tiguan is also incredible. It's a supremely safe SUV. The beauty of Maharashtra is in the scenic views. The roads can be congested and challenging, but within an hour or so, you'll be out of the city. My calling today is take me towards the strawberry capital of India. Before work happened, this used to be a pit stop on my way from Mumbai to Mahabaleshwar. It's about 2 hours from Mumbai, and exactly the food is just enough to satiate you enough for the couple of hours of drive that's still left for me to go. Am I looking forward to the food as much as the road trip? अपना वही regular? Okay. ठीक है? Yes. चलिए. Thank you. The Tiger comes with 2 engine options, the 1 litre turbo petrol as well as the 1.5 litre TSI petrol engine with the DSG gearbox. Given the roads on right now, the Mahabaleshwar Ghats, you have no points for guessing what engine option I will choose. This is essentially black ribbons strewn across a hillside, and the Tiger makes little work of pounding through these roads. They're tight chicanes, technical corners, long sweeping turns, and Tiger just bombs through all of them. The Tiger then is perhaps the most agile of the SUVs in its class. The tires are always unrelenting, just staying the course where you want them to be. The steering inputs are light and always accurate, working in tandem with the tires to give the best sort of handling. Around 4,700 feet above the sea level, Mahabaleshwar has a charm of its own. Quaint, cozy, and with a bit of colonial touch. This town in Maharashtra attracts tourists from far and wide thanks to its strawberries. This is the strawberry plant that actually is planted across the entire farm here, about 25,000 such saplings. Farm with 25,000 saplings can result in about 25 kg of output per day. That's only on an organic basis. If you use chemicals or inorganics, which these people don't use, the output can rise up to 100 kg per day. Now, how do we plant this particular sapling? We just take it out of the plastic cup that you see here, insert it here with the small hole that we have dug, cover it up with the mud around it, up to the level of the soil. And what you see here, the black piping, it is actually for drip irrigation. In the next couple of weeks, this entire area will be covered with black tarp, as you can see on the other side of the field. This should start flowering in about January to June, the harvest, the plantation period. You should first see a white flower come out, followed by a yellow. Inside of it is yellow, which transforms into the red strawberry eventually that you see. So this is exactly what the drive was about. Of the 4-5 hours that we drove from Mumbai to pluck fresh strawberries from the field itself. Perhaps this is what signifies freedom, if you ask me. Getting to where actually the fruit is. And perhaps the Tiger is the best tool for that, bringing us into the open for this. If this is not freedom, I don't know what is. Who doesn't love road trips? I frequently venture out for trips like these with my family, and they enjoy the ride comfort of the Tiger. But behind the wheel, I feel assured. Both Tiger and the Virtus have scored a 5-star rating at the global NCAP crash tests. It instills a sense of confidence in me. Not just a rating, Volkswagen has standardized 6 airbags across all the variants of the Tiger and the Virtus. I'm a tech geek and I truly believe the Tiger is loaded to the T. Its 10-inch infotainment is crisp and the readouts are clear. On days I forget to bring the USB cable, I have little to worry about. The Tiger comes with wireless connectivity and a charging pad, which ensures I don't miss out on entertainment on the go. The list goes on, but the cabin exudes a sense of solidity and premiums, something that makes me feel the Tiger is a great package overall. The photographer in me seems to take a back seat at office. I must tell you, Mahabaleshwar has several scenic spots where I love spending some time with myself and I enjoy a sense of freedom. Around 7 kilometers away from the Mahabaleshwar town, one of the most fascinating natural wonders is Elephant's Head Point. Its unique rock formation resembles the shape of an elephant's trunk. The point offers a breathtaking view of the lush greenery of the Sahyadri mountain range and its deep valleys.
Stunning, isn't it? Nestled in the lap of the Sahyadris is the Vena Lake, spread across 28 acres. It's hard to believe that the lake is artificial, having been constructed by the then ruler of Satara in 1842. This is the kind of place that I like, closer to nature, away from the madding crowds. How do I get here? Definitely in my Tiger.
Mahabaleshwar has some of the greatest views possible, but the roads are not much to talk about. Most of the stretches are single carriageways, but why do I care? I have the Volkswagen Tiger at my disposal. Locals say the best time to visit Mahabaleshwar is during the monsoon. The Lingmala waterfall formed by the Vena river is in full glory during the rainy season.
So that was my weekend with strawberries and an equally red Volkswagen Tiger. It's funny how just 2 days ago I was sat behind a desk leading my monotonous job with a bowl of frozen fruit. Now I'm actually filled with a sense of freedom, and that's courtesy the car that's behind me. The Volkswagen Tiger has taken me from Mumbai to Mahabaleshwar and up the ghats with such ease that I cannot imagine doing this trip in any other SUV of its class. I couldn't have imagined a better weekend getaway without a Tiger. It's a perfect tool for when you want to get around.
Wasn't that an incredible journey? It's making me want to take a road trip of my own. Speaking of which, I'm also behind the wheel of Tiger, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. The performance is outstanding, making everyday traffic feel like a breeze. Hold that thought, because we slip into a short break, and after the break, an interview that you would not want to miss.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of governance, Delhi.
NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migration.
Welcome back to this very special episode of the NDTV Auto Show. 2024 has been an incredible year for the Indian automotive industry with remarkable growth and innovation. To get insights into what's next, we sit down with Brand Director Volkswagen India Ashish Gupta for an exclusive conversation.
Hello and welcome to NDTV Auto. I have Mr. Ashish Gupta with me. He is the Brand Director for Volkswagen India. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you for coming.
Sir, 2024 has been an exciting year.
Yeah.
But how has it been for you and the overall industry?
I think the industry has done pretty well, and if you look at it, last year the industry ended at around 4 million, and I'm sure by the end of December we'll reach around 4.2 million. That's a 5% growth over a very high base. You know, we are almost with the third largest car market in the world, and with the base being so high, a 5% growth by the industry I think is impressive. I think this year has been a little bit about I would say expectations being higher than the reality, but at the end of the day, if you look at it, a 5% growth is a very impressive growth by the market. If I look at Volkswagen, this year was more about consistency, making sure that we stabilize our volumes, we stabilize our brand, we stabilize our dealers. So that's something which we set out to do. The another target that we had taken was to make the Virtus number one in the premium mid-size sedan segment. We have been successful in doing that. The Virtus is by far the largest selling premium mid-size sedan in the country. The segment share of more than 30%. We wanted to bring all the diverse communities of Volkswagen owners in India together and lovers of Volkswagen, not only owners, together. That is something which we successfully achieved with Volkswagen Experiences. This is the second central leg of Volkswagen experiences. But along with that, I think a lot of micro activities on Volkswagen experiences going around the entire country through our dealerships. So this is a movement which will gather pace even more in the future years. I think another aspect that we wanted to bring out was democratize the performance capabilities of our cars. We had the GT, which was loved by everybody. We democratized that by bringing the GT lines both on the Taigun and Virtus, which have been a roaring success and have helped us to keep our volume stable. So I think all in all, a pretty satisfactory year. Being in sales and marketing, I can never say I'm very, very happy. You can never be very happy, but I would say it gives you satisfaction.
Great numbers for the entire market, also for Volkswagen, multiple activities going throughout the year. But going into a new year, 2025, what do we expect?
See, I think next year, I think, again, the base has even gone up. If I look at the market, I would expect a 3 to 4% growth and not more next year. Next year again is about a little bit of transition happening in the industry, both in terms of customer mindsets, in terms of drivetrains. Customers are also right now thinking about, if I buy a car today, next 5 years, what is going to happen? How is electrification going to take off? Are there other alternates available to me? So I think there is a lot of transition happening in the market, and 25 and 26 are going to be 2 years then where you will see, I would say, a shift in how the market operates. Yeah. So in that kind of a scenario, I would expect a 3 to 4% growth in the market for 2025, not more. I would be pleasantly surprised if it is more than that. So within that scenario, I think this is where every manufacturer, along with the customers, is also trying to find their place. What is the ideal strategy? What is the ideal product mix? What is the ideal body styles we have to go for? I think everybody is in that phase, and that is what we are also in. 2025 will be about elevating our credentials even further as a brand which offers performance. Yeah, if you look at our cars, we are known for our performance, whether it is on safety, whether it is on drive quality, whether it is on build quality. That is something which we want to elevate even further. So peak performance is something which we are looking at, and the products to justify that positioning in good time.
Has been there a shift in strategy, especially with the electrification, which was quite a buzz almost a year ago? Yeah. Has kind of settled down?
No, I think, again, it's, as I said, it's a transitional phase for the entire industry, yeah, and for the customers as well. So when it is a transitional phase, it's about how do you believe that this transition is going to happen. For customers, it is more about belief now. Yeah. As industry leaders, our role is to basically show customers what is possible, what is going to happen in the next 10 years, and then it falls on the customers to believe in that transition. I think the entire market and customers are right now in that leap of faith kind of a phase. So the projection sometimes can be a little bit off because that leap of faith, may not happen as you predicted, but the direction is right. Yeah. So the direction is clearly towards electrification in the long run. It may not, it was predicted to be 5% by 2024. It is going to end up at around 2.5, 3%. So be it. Yeah. Even 3% of a 4.2 million market is quite a high number.
And you already have products ready.
Yeah. So ready, but it also depends on a little bit of how the policy is, under what policy you bring it, how is the ecosystem in terms of vendors and everything developed to be able to bring it in mass volumes. But definitely 2025 and 26 is when the inflection point will happen in India, and we will actually know whether at what pace that transition will happen.
A major trend to look out for. But one of the action-packed cars has been the Virtus.
Yeah.
It has changed the overall dynamics of the segment.
Yeah.
Numbers are in favor of the car. A, what is really driving the sales of Virtus? And B, do you see an inclination towards sedan coming back with SUVs trying to balance out?
No, I think, if you look at the success factors of the Virtus, I think first of all, it's the package, the dimensions, the features in that dimensions that this car provides. I would say the exciting design that this car has brought into this segment, And I would say also a little bit of kudos to my marketing and communication team, the way we have positioned the car, with the GT, with the kind of design changes and the kind of new variants we have been able to bring, whether it is the GT or the GT line or the differentiation through the GT Chrome and GT Sport. So we have continuously excited the customers about the Virtus. I would also like to maybe thank the customers who have really loved the performance and the package and the design of the car and amplifying it. At one point of time, people used to ask me only about Polo. Yeah, when is Polo coming back? So it's a refreshing change that we have been able to replace one cult or one icon with another icon in the making with the Virtus.
This year we see a lot of customer acquisition and building exercises, especially through the experiences part.
Yeah.
How has that been? And again, what is there to look forward to?
No, I think, experiences is, I would say, the objectives, if I look at it from a company point of view, are manifold. The first objective I would say is to give one common identity to the lovers of Volkswagen, whether it is owners, whether it is people who just love the brand and who want to own it at some point of time. Bring those emotions and those feelings under a common umbrella so that we can channel that energy. Secondly, I think also is to give a kind of emotional feel to the brand. Yeah, so at the end of the day, whatever you experience, you end up sharing with your friends, family, and the world at large. Today, social media is everywhere. So even if I am experiencing it today, I can share it with 100,000 people or 1 million people in 1 second. So I think it does give us that kind of a platform where those emotions can be amplified to manyfold. Instead of us talking about it, people who really have driven and have experienced Volkswagen talking about it.
Great. My last question is about the used car market.
Yeah.
Volkswagen has entered that pre-certified cars. How is that market doing and how is your business up to?
I think that has been a focus area for us for the last 4 or 5 years. Just to give you some figures, in 2017 my entire network in India used to sell around 3,000 pre-owned cars. Last year we ended up selling 30,000. So that's a 10-fold increase in 3 or 4 years. And this year I think if all goes well, by end of December we'll end up selling close to 35,000 used cars. So again, that has been a very successful leg for us. From a brand point of view, the pre-owned car business does not bring any revenue or any profit to me. But I have to see from the larger picture. From the larger picture point of view, first of all, it helps me to get even more customers connected to the brand. Today, a customer in the market may not be able to afford or buy a Volkswagen, but buying a pre-owned car through Volkswagen certified pre-owned, he already is experiencing the brand, which builds brand affinity over a long time. So whenever he wants to buy a new car, I am sure his first point of contact would be a Volkswagen showroom. Yeah, so that brings in more customers to our brand. Secondly, it provides a lot of a new profit stream to my dealerships, which is very important. The new car sales business can be cutthroat. Yeah, it is cutthroat. You have to pander into a buyer's market where the new car sales business may not always be profitable. So the pre-owned car business also provides a revenue and profit opportunity for our dealerships.
It's always great to talk to you,
Yeah.
candid and elaborate. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the experience and I'll see you very soon.
Enjoy it, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on this very special episode of the NDTV Auto Show. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to NDTV Auto's YouTube channel and you can follow us on your favorite social media platform. From all of us here, we wish you a very happy new year and see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
(2024), the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new heights, NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
A very warm welcome to the first edition of the NDTV Emerging Business Conclave 2024.
एमएसएमई विभाग एक महत्वपूर्ण विभाग है.
We have to think about what is brand India. India will always stand for democracy. We will always be one of the largest investors in the world.
It is also very, very important that these MSMEs grow.
We are seeing that women are coming up in many other sectors apart from the traditional sectors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Jeju Air jetliner carrying 181 people crashes at an airport in South Korea, killing over 80 people. Heavy snowfall disrupts life in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. BRO works on making Srinagar airport operational. Politics over Dr. Singh's memorial site. Congress demands memorial at Rajghat while centre assures separate memorial space. Trump backs Elon Musk amid a fierce debate over H-1B visas after Musk defended visas for skilled foreigners. Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj mount pressure in Australia, claiming back-to-back wickets. The hosts have taken their lead past 200 in the second innings but lost 6 wickets.
Oh, he's got him! Into the body, Bumrah comes back, picks up another.
A Boeing 737 aircraft operated by Jeju Air crashed at the Muan International Airport in South Korea this morning, killing 85 people on board. A harrowing video shows the moment that the plane veered off the runway, crashed and then burst into flames. The plane was carrying 181 passengers, including 6 crew members. Among those were 2 Thai nationals who were traveling as well, who were perhaps on vacation. Now, these 2 were also on board. As far as the rescue operations are concerned, they're still underway. The death toll continues to rise, as now we're learning that over 80 people have been killed in this accident. My colleague Vishal joins us with more details. Vishal, if you could take us through the latest rescue operations. Vishal, if you can hear me. Right, we'll try and get my colleague Vishal on the broadcast, but the latest that we're tracking for you is that over 80 people, close to 85 people have been now killed in this accident that took place at a South Korean airport. My colleague Vishal is back with us with more details. Vishal, take us to the latest on the rescue operations.
So the latest is that this is possibly the worst aviation disaster in South Korea's history. The latest says that almost everyone on board has died except two. Two people were rescued. There were totally 181 people on board, including six crew members. So 179 people are presumed dead at the moment. That is the latest report. So it's a huge tragedy. The airline has issued an official apology. It has said that it bows down in shame that such a tragedy has occurred. And at the same time, the Thailand government has initiated a probe into the matter because when the plane landed, the lower carriage could not be deployed, and that has resulted in this huge tragedy. The plane skidded off the runway and hit one of the fences, and it exploded right on impact, killing almost everyone on board. As I mentioned, there were more than 180 people on board, and almost everyone has died. And there were mostly South Koreans on board. There were 2 or 3 Thai nationals as well. So this flight was traveling from Bangkok to Muan in South Korea. So it could be assumed that mostly there were, holiday travelers who would have gone there to enjoy, year-end special weekend. But that has resulted in a huge tragedy, and almost everyone on board has died.
Right, thank you, Vishal, for joining us and bringing us those details. I'm also being joined by Captain Saurabh Bhatnagar, Director of Various Aviators. He's also the former CEO of Akasa International. Thank you for joining us, sir. Firstly, this seems to be one of the worst aviation disasters, like my colleague was mentioning, in South Korea. As far as the technical details we know that a belly landing was attempted and landing gear was not fully extended as well. So as far as the preliminary details that we're getting in from the reports coming in, what can you gather, sir?
You know what, it's quite evident from the video that the aircraft did a belly landing, and hydraulic, in fact, the landing gear was not even extended because I could not see the nose landing gear also. And Boeing 737 has a hydraulic system for landing gear, but they have an emergency landing gear system also. And that is totally independent of the hydraulic, and with that the manual lever is there, and they've got the cables and the linkages mechanical, which extends the landing gear. So it's very too early to say anything what exactly and why it was not extended. And it is very evident that they did a belly landing.
Sir, but the Jeju Air has also come out with an apology at this point. But do you think this disaster could have been averted?
That's too early to say. Yes, of course, because since the landing gear has a alternate system of emergency landing gear, it depends upon whether it was, and we do extend the landing gear quite, at least 800 to 900 feet above the ground. And if that time the landing gear had not come down, so the pilot could have made a go around and tried again another with the emergency landing gear. Or maybe it appears that it collapsed, but the nose landing gear was not visible at all. So that's too early now. The inquiry will say what exactly happened. But yes, there was no landing gear deployment, which is quite evident from the video what we saw.
Right, and this is quite a terrible aviation accident. We're now learning that almost 179 passengers, that's almost everyone on board, has died in this tragic crash. And we can see the amount of force that the plane hits the wall with and then combusts into flames. So in terms of South Korean aviation as well, sir, they seem to be having quite a good amount of safety measures in place. So this is quite a big disaster considering South Korean airline and their safety.
Yes, the safety record proves quite good, and I believe they've got a nice, very experienced pilots. So any kind of aviation disaster or these kinds of accidents, it's too early to say what exactly could have gone wrong in the cockpit. But as far as the aircraft we saw burst into flame, there must be, yes, good amount of fuel also in the tanks. That's the reason we saw the ball of fire. But the landing gear not getting extended. These days, it's quite, I would say, not heard of, because you got the manual and the backup system is always there, especially for the landing gear.
But do you think so there can be something more done in these cases, maybe some, in terms of technology, if there can be some sort of improvement to avoid such accidents in the future as well?
We have these days. It's all these days. It's fly-by-wire system, hydraulically operated. All the systems. So we have a backup of mechanical backup. And Boeing 737 has got a cable and a mechanical linkages that got nothing to do with electrical and anything to do with hydraulic. So I'm also quite surprised. And they say why the emergency landing gear was not extended, or there was some problem with the aircraft itself. So the inquiry will tell when they find out what is the position of the emergency landing gear handle, why it was not extended. But yes, we do have the planes are quite safe these days, and they have in fact backup system for each and every system on board.
Right, sir. And on that point, if you could also elaborate a bit on the technicalities of this particular flight. It was a Boeing 737 aircraft, and it does have, like you mentioned, safety measures already in place.
Yes, it is. That's what I'm saying. You have the aircraft has a emergency backup system also. Every aircraft has got emergency backup system. In fact, the landing gear, especially, just to avoid that, in case you have a hydraulic failure, like we saw in the Azerbaijan crash, where the hydraulic pipelines had totally busted, and the aircraft was not, they were not able to control the aircraft. So landing gear is a very important system in the aircraft. They have a system which is independent of the hydraulics. That is why you have everything is mechanical linkage and everything is there for that.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Bhatnagar, and bringing us those details and sharing us and bringing some insight into this particular story.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Shifting focus now, visibility has been reduced due to fog and cold in New Delhi. Many flights have been affected due to reduced visibility and bad weather. Flights of SpiceJet airline have been affected, as well as Indigo airline, we're learning. SpiceJet has said that flights to and from Leh as well as Srinagar are affected due to the bad weather. Remember, there is heavy snowfall in Srinagar, and the airport in Jammu and Kashmir has been closed for some time as well, although the BRO is working on airline operations there. Now, Indigo airline also saying that flights to and from Amritsar have been affected due to low visibility. Passengers should check their flight status before travelling is the advisory that has been put out. As far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, all flights to and from Jammu and Kashmir have been affected due to heavy snowfall.
As we approach the new year, cold wave conditions continue to prevail in the national capital and also the rest of northern India. We have seen the temperature has dropped to 12 degrees Celsius with increasing smog conditions and very smog conditions in isolated areas. There has been a reduced visibility in several areas. Currently, I am in Lodhi Road. You can see right behind me, there is this entire area that has been blanketed in thick smog, although we have seen in the last 24 hours heavy rainfall in national capital, highest single day December rainfall in the last 100 years, yet the air quality continues to be in the very poor conditions. That is essentially because the wind speed continues to be low. Later in the afternoon the wind speed will pick up, but again in the evening the wind speed will slow down, and therefore the air quality will continue to be in the very poor condition. The smog will continue to spread across the national capital, and because of the low visibility, we know certain low visibility procedures have been undertaken at Delhi airport, although flights and trains have been rescheduled or delayed because of visibility, low visibility. And due to the fog and cold conditions, the airlines to and from Delhi to Leh and Srinagar and also to Jammu and Kashmir have been affected because of the snowfall in Kashmir, and the train services have also been disrupted because of the bad weather. Prayagraj Express is running 22 minutes late. Banaras Bharat Express is also running late, but it is important to highlight that due to this cold weather, the biting cold weather that national capital continues to witness, where, you know, temperature goes below 10 degrees Celsius and cold wave conditions prevail. It is the homeless population in the national capital that is most vulnerable to the biting cold. But now the Delhi Urban Shelter Improvement Board has said that all people, homeless people, are allowed to take refuge in these makeshift pagoda tents. They do not have to show any document or Aadhaar card or any identity proof to get access. Anyone and everyone can come and take refuge in these makeshift tents, because remember, last year, because of the cold wave conditions, almost 180 people died because of the poor shelter home facilities. It is the homeless people who continue to face the brunt of the biting cold that the national capital experiences. Today, we know the rain is expected, rainfall is expected. The temperature will be around 12 degrees Celsius. Passengers who are traveling, you know, the fag end of December, and as we approach New Year's, many people are traveling. So they are requested to check their flight status and train status before stepping out of their homes. With camera person Sanjay Kaushik, this is Shreya in Delhi for NDTV.
The Congress accused the centre of insulting former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh by carrying out his last rites at the Nigam Bodh Ghat instead of a designated spot that could later become his memorial. The opposition party had written to the centre for identifying a designated space for Singh's last rites where a memorial could be set up for him. As politics over the matter erupted, the centre said that a decision to set up a memorial has already been taken and a trust would be formed to identify the place soon. My colleague Sunil has more details.
Well, it's extremely unfortunate that, you know, there has been the memorial politics over this, you know, the passing away of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Having said that, I think the Congress party has given a point-wise, you know, what they felt was not befitting the former Prime Minister in terms of seating arrangements for his family, for the space that was required for during the cremation, and that this was an insult not only to Dr. Manmohan Singh and his family and his legacy, but also to the Sikh community. If you could always find ways to do so in terms of how you want to go about the entire process, be it for, you know, various issues in terms of a memorial, and you could have found it, and they've been juxtaposing this with the late former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's thing, you know, when it happened. So it's definitely an unfortunate turn of events, but the government has assured the Congress party that they will set up a memorial for Dr. Manmohan Singh, which is their departure in a way from what was the earlier position, that they won't allow any setting up of any memorial or any other thing. So it's definitely, you know, there has been a to and fro, but definitely with the passing away of Dr. Manmohan Singh, the last thing that Dr. Manmohan Singh himself, the person that I knew, would have wanted to see this unnecessary controversy.
IIT Guwahati has partnered with the Assam government for a state-of-the-art virtual reality-enabled metaverse platform for the first time in the country. Virtual reality skill labs will be set up in rural schools where students will learn in their local language in a metaverse environment using virtual reality technology and gadgets. This platform allows students to engage directly with complex topics through virtual reality. The initiative will be implemented in some schools in Assam by November 2025. NDTV's Rathadeep spoke to Professor Keur Soradia, Associate Professor at the Department of Design at IIT Guwahati. Take a look.
At a time when there is so much of buzz about AI and VR and Metaverse, particularly among the Gen Zs, here at the IIT Guwahati's Design Department, something very interesting is being thought of and worked upon. A new platform of using VR and Metaverse environment for the students of schools where they can learn their lessons better by using VR, that also in their own local language is being thought about and worked upon in the form of a new project of the design department of IIT Guwahati. We are now joined by Professor Keur Soradia. Professor, this is a project which IIT Guwahati is doing with the help of Assam government, and probably you're developing this project, a model of a VR-based skill lab that can move from your design department to even rural schools in Assam, help them in terms of their improving their pedagogy, improving their student learning. Tell us how this project is happening. This is one of the first time in the country that this is being tried out.
Sure. So let me tell you, yes, this is the first state government who is trying out virtual reality based skill labs to be put up in the rural schools of Assam. The project started with the first phase where we developed an educational metaverse called Aviation, which was developed for Guwahati Planetarium with the help of Science and Technology Ministry. And that is currently deployed with contents related to gravity, gravitational forces, friction, and many similar content which will help students as well as the visitors of Guwahati Planetarium. The second phase of the project, which is called Gyandhara, where we will be taking 20 chapters of 8 to 12 standard schools of Assam and converting them into a VR experience for better learnability and memorability of the content. And as part of that project, we will be conducting a pilot in the 56 Adarsh Vidyalayas in Assam. And the next phase of that project would be to deploy this VR skill lab across all the schools in Assam.
On the last launch of 2024, ISRO is undertaking a space mission like never before, where innovation is written on every aspect. For the first time, India will attempt to dock and undock 2 satellites in space. On the 62nd launch of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, India is undertaking a SPART-X mission, the space docking experiment. NDTV science editor Pallav Bagla spoke to Dr. S. Somnath, chairman of the ISRO, to understand the deep implications of this big, bold mission. Take a look.
India is getting ready to do a very unique experiment in space for docking and undocking 2 satellites. I have with me Dr. S. Somnath, the chairman of the Indian Space Research Organization. The experiment is called SPADEX. Thanks a lot for speaking to me, Dr. Somnath.
Thank you.
What is this very unique docking, undocking experiment we are going to do?
So, when you have multiple objects in space and we need to bring them together for a certain purpose, we need a mechanism called docking. 2 space objects coming and joining together for a purpose is called docking. This is done through various approaches. You can connect it with a soft mechanism or a hard mechanism. You can also connect them using a mechanism by which you can send people through. That is called pressurized compartment connection, which is done for human transportation from
like we see on international
space station. When a crew module connects to the space station, you bring the pressure equivalent and then transfer people. So everywhere you have initially a mechanism comes and connects, then you establish a sealed connection. So suppose you have to build a space station. No, everything is not launched in one go. Modules go one after another and they are connected to each other to build a long, big, complex space station. So everywhere there is something called docking process is involved. In the docking process, there is something called a target and a chaser. So somebody will follow the first objects and come together and in a close proximity and make a connection. So in the SPADEX experiment, we are exactly going to replicate that type of technology required to do that. It involves first a mechanism which can go capture, then pull them closer, then rigidize it. So there are 3 functions. Second element is there are a suite of sensors which are required to identify which is a target and which is a chaser, and then relatively move them in a coordinated manner that they are able to come very close with a very controlled movement as well as not to cause a hit and damage while we come to docking. So these 2 technology elements we are trying to demonstrate through 2 small satellite platforms built around IMS bus, which you have been earlier launching, to be launched in PSLV in one go, in one orbit. So they will be together launched and the satellites will carry out the docking experiment.
Now, will we do only docking or will we attempt also undocking and then maybe try another attempt on?
The docking is a powered docking. That means you use an electric motor to drive the docking process. So they not only do a mechanism that will go and catch each other, there is a rigidization process in which the motor can drive a mechanism drive to bring them closer against a spring load and then keep it in that tight condition. That means if required, you can undo it using the reversing the motor and untorquing it and taking it away. And once they move away, the propulsion system on board the satellites can fire and then move it apart.
It's built parallel to the 100-year-old British-built heritage Pamban Bridge and would restore rail connectivity to Rameshwaram Island from the mainland. This would also mean goodbye to the century-old heritage Pamban Bridge. NDTV's Sam Daniel brings us this report. Take a look.
India's first vertical high railway bridge at Pamban, a 2-kilometer-long bridge over the sea that connects the Rameshwaram Island with the mainland. And this has come up very close to, in fact parallel to, the 110-year-old heritage Pamban Bridge that was built by the British. Because of heavy corrosion over the decades, this is not being used now, and this bridge now will connect Rameshwaram Island very soon. It's a 530 crore project that aims to pave way for modern high-volume rail traffic to commence on this stretch. In fact, this has also been designed for a two-way railway line, although this is now left vacant. In future, if it's required, they'll be able to lay over another fresh line to make it a two-way railway line. The traditional heritage Pamban Bridge used to open up like this to pave way for vessels or ships to pass through, but this one is another engineering marvel. It's called the vertical lift bridge, where the entire stretch of the girder will lift 17.5 meters high to pave way for ships or vessels to pass through. That's although new, it's yet another engineering marvel, a first of its kind for India, and it has been designed for 58 years with little maintenance, and if everything works well, this could also survive for another 100 years. Although the Commissioner for Railway Safety has cleared this project for movement of trains, he has also flagged a few issues. One, he says the corrosion issue has not been adequately addressed because this area is known for very severe form of corrosion, the second severe form in the whole world, they say. Secondly, in terms of the vertical girders design, he says it has not complied fully with the approved RDSO design. Railway authorities say all these concerns and defects he has flagged would be addressed and rectified before the stretch is opened for rail traffic. So yet another engineering marvel, parallel to the century-old heritage Pamban Bridge, all set to be inaugurated. If everything works well, this could be open for rail traffic in January 2025. On the Pamban Railway Bridge with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
President-elect Donald Trump seems to align with Elon Musk and other tech industry supporters amid a dispute over immigration visas that has caused division among his supporters. Musk this week had threatened to go to war with MAGA Republicans after he defended visas for skilled foreigners over American-born employees. Remember, this also comes as data suggests 72% H-1B visas were given to Indians in the past year alone. My colleague Vishal joins us with more details. Vishal, take us through what this means for Indians immigrating to the US under Trump.
So according to the latest figures, the last time the H-1B visas were granted, almost 72% were Indians. So that gives you a scale of what it means for Indians, because Indian American nationals and Indian American professionals in the US, they have been stamping their authority for a while now, for at least the decade and a half. There have been a plethora of Indian American technocrats who have taken over Silicon Valley. So it's sort of a support in that direction from Trump and Musk, because both are heavyweights in the US, and Musk himself has been involved in many technical fields. So it sort of gives a boost to the whole program, and there had been many racist attacks on Indians online regarding this H-1B visa from the Trump supporters. But surprisingly, Musk, who is a big supporter of Trump himself, he went out of his way and said that these are racist folks, and H-1B visa needs to be expanded to get in more foreign talent, because he gave an example of Tesla, because Tesla was named after a foreign national, Nikola Tesla. So he has been talking about, expansion of H-1B visa for a while now. So this will sort of, only be beneficial for Indians.
Thank you, Vishal, for joining us and bringing us those details. We'll continue tracking these stories for you. For now, we take a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation. In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Water is at the core of sustainable development and critical for the economy, food production, healthy ecosystems, and for human survival itself. Water is also at the heart of adaptation to climate change. Today we are prone to droughts as well as floods, with climate change causing unpredictable and extreme weather patterns. And as our population grows, there is an increasing need to balance all of the competing commercial demands on water resources so that communities have enough for their needs. Over 80% of the rural and urban domestic water supplies in India are served by groundwater. 255 districts and 1,597 blocks across the country have been identified by the Ministry of Jal Shakti as water-stressed. Committed to the cause of the marginalized and underprivileged since 1996, the Adani Foundation Social Welfare and Development arm of the Adani Group has implemented drinking water projects and construction of water harvesting structures across India to store not just surface water, but to also recharge groundwater. From the parched regions of Kutch in Gujarat to the interiors of water-scarce Tiroda in Maharashtra, the Adani Foundation has been working on water conservation for nearly 3 decades. It has implemented groundwater augmentation, like rooftop rainwater harvesting, pond deepening, and borewell recharge. The Adani Foundation's water conservation projects span 12 states, touching lives of nearly 2 lakh people, catering to over 28,000 acres of land. More valuable than gold, water is what matters the most in the desert. Rajasthan has districts that are among the driest regions in India, with some areas receiving as little rain in a year as others do in a single day. Around 50 kilometers from Jaisalmer's Rasala village on the border of the Great Thar are 2 water points adjacent to the Degrai temple, Degrai Pond and Sabdasar Pond. Cattle, sheep, goats and camels flock to these ponds, a lifeline in the dry and arid landscape. This embankment was strengthened and the water body desilted. It's now a favorite water hole that ensures drinking water for nearly 10,000 desert animals, benefiting up to 7 villages. This is just one example of the water harvesting initiatives undertaken by the Adani Foundation in villages in and around Barmer and Jaisalmer, where 37 ponds have been repaired and deepened. The initiative works in 2 ways: by desilting the already existing sources of water, like ponds, and deepening water bodies to increase their capacity. In the desert, where rains are erratic and there are frequent droughts, farmers survive on the wealth of their livestock. Water bodies in the desert landscape store valuable rainwater for animals to survive, thus playing a very important role in the economy of the desert.
जल है तो जीवन है। पहली जो हमारी पहली प्राथमिकता होती है वो जल ही होता है। तो इससे यहाँ के स्थानीय पशुपालक है, इनको मूल तौर से तो ऊँटों पे इनका बहुत फोकस रहा है। ऊँटों के लिए पानी की बहुत उनको भरपूर आवश्यकता रहती है। वो एक बार पी लेते हैं तो 7-7 दिन उनके लिए निकल जाता है। लेकिन यहाँ हमारे यहाँ पानी बहुत किल्लत थी। अब जैसे मौसम परिवर्तन हुआ, बरसातें हुई, तालाब पहले सूख रहे थे। कंपनियां अडानी फाउंडेशन थी, इन्होंने उसकी सुध ली, इनकी खुदाई की, जल स्तर भी बढ़ रहा है और हमारे को पीने योग्य पानी और पशुओं के लिए भी पानी भरपूर मात्रा में मिल रहा है।
मारे गांव में 40,000 है, मारे खन 200 गए। परेशानी घनी हुई थी, मवेशी मरी घनी पानी वास्ते। पानी हतो नहीं नेड़ो, तालाब पानी होता नहीं, खुदे हवा नहीं था। अच्छा, हमें खोदने के बाद में अच्छी हुई है, पानी बहुत खूब है, पीने के लिए अच्छी सुविधा है।
The Adani Foundation's initiatives ensure that most water bodies in these areas don't dry up and have water all year round. This also helps the biodiversity of the desert, with different breeds of birds and smaller animals thriving.
अडानी फाउंडेशन ने यहाँ CSR बजट से तालाबों का क्षेत्र में खूब विकास किया है। देगरा तालाब है, इस तालाब की अभी गहराई की खुदाई की है और 4 दीवारी का किया है। मंदिर में बहुत बड़ी 4 दीवारी की सपोर्ट बना है और यहाँ ये जो तालाब का भराव है तो ये पानी लगभग जून जुलाई तक, इसका मतलब पूरे साल